Alright everybody, this is LastPlayerStanding.com's Open Tournament number 2. I am Doa and we are watching the third place match right now. There is Fnatic KawaiiRice saying good luck dude to his opponent TenryuRH. KawaiiRice did win the last game with just a really nice composition, really good micro, and TenryuRH just wasn't able to handle it. Tenryu, for those of you who don't know, is a Grandmaster player on the North American server, so certainly a pretty good Zerg player. Was able to defeat Rain Perfect in the quarterfinals, made it to the semifinals, and then was knocked out by FXO and Nori, also known as Nori Foyu. One of the players from the Foyu clan over here in Korea recently became FXO, part of the FXO team. So what will the plan be on this map? We are on GSL Crevasse, so normally we do see a little bit longer games on this map than we do otherwise. But strange things happen sometimes. And I gotta say, I've really enjoyed casting these games. It's always fun to see the foreigners go up against the Koreans. I mean, we have 2 Koreans in the final, obviously, but, you know, KawaiiRice put up a really good fight against Bung Bung Prime. Came very close to winning, I felt, in a lot of ways. TenryuRH, you know, made it to the semifinals, did a good job, took out some pro gamers on the way there, but, you know, fell pretty quickly to FXO and Nori. So I'm sure we'll probably see him again. Have to look for his name at events like MLG or some other online events possibly. And yeah, so after you guys watch this, the very next thing you can do after you finish watching, well, all the games from this, of course, because why wouldn't you want to, is to go and sign up for Last Player Standing Open number 3, which is coming up here in the next couple weeks. Of course, there will be a $500 prize on the line, I believe, if it's like the other two. And you get to play against possibly some Korean pro gamers too, so not every day you get the opportunity for something like that. And this is kind of interesting. TenryuRH, he does a lot of unique things. Look at this, taking the lower base as his hatch first instead of the much safer upper base. So a little bit of a risk right away from TenryuRH. Interesting play there with that. And we'll have to see how KawaiiRice responds once he sees it. Now, KawaiiRice is going for a very normal opening here. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see him decide to go for that Reaper expand again. He's done it pretty much every other TVZ almost. And it is such a great opening for this map anyway, so why not? 2 Marines out though, and there is the factory, so I guess it won't be a Reaper expand this time around. In fact, he's not even going for a really fast command set or anything like that. So we could see any number of things from KawaiiRice in this game now. And so KawaiiRice, if he does decide to go for a little bit more aggressive tech-heavy opening, could be doing exactly what TenryuRH does not want. Now, did he see that reactor? Okay, he did see the reactor going down, so he knows about what KawaiiRice is planning on doing. Or at least he knows that he's not going to be super macro heavy. He knows he's going to be a little bit more aggressive in his tech. So Tenryu now is kind of like, well, uh-oh, I thought you were going to be very greedy, so I was actually really greedy. Because it's going to be a lot tougher to defend this base than it would be this base. Of course, Hellions do really well right here. I mean, look at this. It's so wide open. You've got the ramp. You can just kind of shoot down and kill some drones and then run away with your Hellions. But we may not even... okay, I was going to say we might not see Hellions, but never mind, we will. They're being reactored out right now. Pretty quick starport for KawaiiRice as well. Could decide to make some medevacs. Could decide to make some Banshees. And look at this, a good amount of roaches on the way for TenryuRH. He saw the reactor on the barracks, correctly assumed that there'd be a pretty good chance that he's going to have to deal with some Hellions then. And, you know, when you're taking this expansion on the low ground too, I feel like it's just a good idea all around to just get a roach warren in case. And not bad just to have it in this particular situation. So these Hellions are coming in right now. Oh, and the roaches actually catch them coming across the map. KawaiiRice almost losing those right there. He's trying to put a bit of aggression onto his opponent here. We'll have to see how much damage he can do. What is this? 3 starports right now for KawaiiRice. What in the world is he planning on doing? Is this going to be 3-port Banshee? I don't even know if you can actually do that. I don't think you actually get enough gas to do this. These roaches are actually going to kill the supply depot. KawaiiRice is actually in serious trouble right now. His first Banshee is going to come out, and the second Banshee is going to come out and do pretty well, but TenryuRH is going to be like, wait a second, you have 3 starports. That's unique. And yeah, so I mean, until that first Banshee comes out, KawaiiRice is just going to have to kind of sit there and lose SCVs. There the first Banshee does come out, but there's so many roaches right now that KawaiiRice is going to be very low on gatherers by the time all these roaches get cleaned up. It's going to be pretty unfortunate. Yeah, let's take a look at the workers killed tab as this happens. 13 workers, 14 workers, 15 workers, 17 workers. So things not going too well for KawaiiRice. He is going to clean up all these roaches eventually, but that's going to give a Tenryu, as you can see from the production queue, plenty of time to get some spore crawlers up. Last of the roaches getting cleaned up. Yeah, there will be a spore crawler in pretty much every mineral line, even building one up here to walk up to the natural a little bit later. So KawaiiRice needs to run his little Banshee, I don't know. I was going to say little Banshee ass, but then I was like, well, can I say ass? I think it's okay. I don't know. He's going to run it over to the base of TenryuRH, and he's going to meet some spore crawlers and queens. So that's not going to go too well for him at all. Yeah. So this game, really not going very well for KawaiiRice right now. Tenryu, lost the last game. He needs to win this one to stay in it, I think. So he's going to want to do everything he can here. Producing a lot of queens, producing a good amount of spore crawlers. He's handling it very, very well. And right now, KawaiiRice, he's basically all in. I mean, producing a few more SCVs, but he's not going to really be able to be in a position where he can take a second base. If he decides to build a command center, that's a huge amount of resources that he's then used. Meanwhile, 3 bases already up for TenryuRH. His worker count a little bit higher, 35 to 16. Yeah, so KawaiiRice still continuing to make Banshees. I mean, if he makes enough of them, he can try to focus things down, but queens with transfuse paired with spore crawlers are going to make it nearly impossible for that to work. Here comes KawaiiRice. Now he's going to try it with 4 Banshees, killing a couple drones here and there. Yeah, but just too many queens for him to deal with. And nice transfuse on those queens there, keeping them alive. And look at that, killing 1 queen but taking a lot of damage with those Banshees, 2 already in red health. He is up to 5 Banshees. And I've got to say, yeah, I was going to say, where's the lair? Because we're going to need, actually, weirdly as it sounds, we're going to need a Hydra Den here. Spire, would work as well, but a Hydra Den would come out a little bit faster. And KawaiiRice hasn't really been producing any Hellions either, so the Hydras don't really have as much to worry about in that regard. KawaiiRice is making the right decision, though, in repairing these Banshees. If he gets, like I said, if he gets enough of them out, he could do some decent damage. But yeah, there's the Hydra Den for TenryuRH. I think that's a better choice. It finishes quite a bit faster, and Hydra just do really well against Banshees. I mean, what more can you say? Pretty expensive to keep producing queens too, so. Only 3 queens at the natural, but he does have everything connected with creep, so he can get there pretty quickly. But look at this KawaiiRice. That is a pretty scary amount of Banshees right there. He could kill all 3 of those queens fairly quickly if he's careful. He does need to worry a little bit about the spore crawler, though, so we'll see. And look at this KawaiiRice going to the natural. Could just decide to try to start killing hatcheries. I mean, he can just do that. He's going to die so fast. Look at the DPS of those Banshees. That is just ridiculous. He's going to go after drones instead. Yep. Going to want to pull back now that the queens are here. Maybe pull back and repair, but he did kill basically every Banshee there. He's going to scan and see a bunch of the eggs. Those are going to be a lot of Hydras. And look at this, just focusing down the queens now. And I think TenryuRH, unless he gets a lot of Hydras out here, might be in a bit of trouble. Oh. Some Hydras are out right now. 1 Banshee taken out for KawaiiRice. Man, it's just a crazy game here. He did get his expansion down before the creeps started being laid, but again, the worker count is very low for KawaiiRice. Still just 30 workers to the 54 of TenryuRH. And TenryuRH does have some Hydras out now. He could actually just go ahead and push pretty soon, and there's not a lot that KawaiiRice could do about it. Look at that. No other offensive units at all besides those Banshees. Just a couple Marines here and there, and TenryuRH, as soon as he sees it, is going to know that he's going to be safe to just go ahead and push and try to kill his opponent. Oh, look at that, the Nidus Worm. I love it. Absolutely love it. He's going to use the Nidus network to get into the base even quicker. And you know where he's going to put it? He's going to put it right here. And he's going to come in and kill these starports. And then KawaiiRice is going to be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, a good amount of Hydras. They are 1-1 or 0-1 right now. I mean, you got to hand it to KawaiiRice. He managed to stay in this game a little bit longer. He could still conceivably win it, but I think it's going to be very difficult. Oh, look at this.
Engine screaming.
He's going to need to be careful. Doesn't want to draw some Marines over. Here come the Banshees again. Huge amount of Banshees. And all the Hydras are actually in the Nidus Worm, and KawaiiRice does see it. And here comes all the Roaches and Hydras. He is not going to be able to kill this Nidus Worm. The Hydras are going to do so much DPS. He might even decide to try to go for a base race. We're going to find out. And TenryuRH not attacking right now with his units. He needs to be attacking here. And that's great. The Roaches are going to buffer quite nicely for the Hydras, and these Banshees should fall pretty quick. Maybe. No, actually. Wow, look at that. KawaiiRice making a great decision. Killing all the Hydras one at a time here, and there's just too much DPS from these Banshees. TenryuRH can't handle it. More Hydras coming through right now. They do manage to chase away one starport, maybe even take it out. But, I don't know. I feel like, well, we'll see. I mean, these Banshees aren't a good long-term solution. Hydra's trying to whittle it away at the Banshees again. So this attack did a bit of damage. Took out one starport. Had to move the second one. KawaiiRice could produce a lot less. And yeah, GG, just too much for KawaiiRice. And I would agree with that. You know, despite the fact that he was holding these pushes here, he was down to just basically one building producing things. So, yeah, that's about it. So, TenryuRH takes game 2, and we are going to a game 3 in this third place battle.